I'm Anthony Forrest, the president of Steel COD, and I'm here with John Beresford, our VP of Sales, ready to discuss all things appliances. All right, John, this is going to be a really interesting episode because we've been polling a lot of people. We have the retail council, and whenever we mention Wi-Fi, it's like we get the biggest stop signs. It's like that's the thing salespeople least want to talk about, consumers least want to hear about. Wi-Fi connected appliances. Leave me alone with that stuff, for the most part. Not everyone, but for the most part. But this is a topic that maybe should be rethought in terms of maybe this is a good thing. Maybe this one we're okay with living, and that's remote diagnostics. So kick us off. How do you get this started?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's super important. I think it can be a real weapon and a real differentiator for you if you take the time to explain it. And like you said, more salespeople take a more hands-off approach and kind of lump Wi-Fi and connectivity and all this kind of stuff into just one big bucket. And you really can't. You're missing. There's a lot of good stuff in here. And I understand, the aversion to the entire topic, but you got to look at it a little bit more maturely and start pulling some things out that you could really use your advantage. And this is one of them. And I think it's skipped a lot, honestly, with remote diagnostics because, it probably makes a lot of salespeople uncomfortable, because really when you think about it, you're introducing service, right? And you're talking about it in the very beginning. So it's almost like you're introducing failure at the very beginning of a conversation. And, reps truly worry about introducing doubt in fact, flat out, they're told not to do that, right? So, they think of things, well, if I mention diagnostics, am I implying that this thing is going to break or something like that, right? So they completely avoid it, or worse, they reduce it to, it's just something you can control your phone and lump it in with everything else like I was talking about, right? And that's just a complete misread of what this technology is actually solving for people or could potentially solve for people, right? So skipping this conversation, quite frankly, isn't going to protect your sale. It's actually going to probably risk it more than you think it's going to, because every customer is eventually going to experience some level of ownership but beyond the install of the appliance, right? And ownership very often isn't really designed by the performance. It's really defined by the support arm that comes after the fact, right? So if we only sell performance and if we ignore kind of the support infrastructure behind it, we're really only selling half the story for the customer, even though it's the part that we're most comfortable with and deal with every day.
So, John, you as a salesperson were very happy to make sure the customer understood ownership and all the aspects of ownership behind buying the appliance and using the appliance. And that is, of course, the support base. So what excites you about the concept of remote diagnostics?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. So let's strip it down to really kind of what actually happens, right? I mean, if something goes wrong, the customer calls service provider X, whatever it is, whatever your model is, right? They ask for a model number and serial number, error descriptions, all that kind of stuff, and nobody fully understands what's going on that call, right? But they schedule an appointment anyways, and it's usually days out if you're lucky. But let's just use that as a barometer right now. A technician shows up, and here's the part that most customers don't realize, right? That technician almost always has either limited or no information before walking in, right? They know what the model is. They know what maybe the error code might be, but they don't have system performance history, right? They don't have event logs. They don't have what happened 3 or 4 cycles ago. So they're diagnosing everything in real time. And listen, sometimes the best techs that are out there, they get it right, but most of the time they don't. And if the part that they need isn't on a truck, well, now that has to get ordered, which means now you're into a second visit, right? And that means an additional wait, and that means more downtime, right? And if the diagnosis was off, which it is a lot, well, now you're into a third visit. But, the real breakdown is, in any good service tech or service department, I think will tell you this, it's not really the inconvenience of that whole process for the customer that drives everybody crazy. It's really the uncertainty behind all of it, right? Customers, honestly, they can tolerate inconvenience as long as they know what's going on, but they struggle all the time with ambiguity, right? Because they don't know if it's a serious problem. I mean, you have somebody that's supposed to come in and fix it, and they're here 2-3 times without a resolution. Well, now it seems more serious, right? And that gets their back up. Is it something that's a simple sensor? Is it a control board? Is this going to take more weeks of my time? That's really where all of that comes in, right? Ownership breaks down when that whole confidence part of it collapses, not when something needs to be repaired. Usually customers are going to be okay with that. So the blind spot or starting point in all of this is the real flaw with traditional service. And that's the pain point that remote diagnostics is addressing head on.
So I'm completely with you. I think this is great. I have an unfair question for you. As an appliance
Yeah.
salesperson, you're expected to have a lot of information in your head, a lot of information at your fingertips. In the
Yep.
case of remote diagnostics, from brand to brand, and then appliance to appliance within each brand, it's going to change. It's going to vary. Not only is it going to change and vary, it's going to change daily, monthly, yearly. How would you
Mhm.
keep up with? So let's say a customer is like, yeah, I'm on board with that. That's really important. That this could restrict brands or say, well, this is how this brand does it. This is how this brand does it. How do you on the
Yeah.
floor communicate remote diagnostics across brands?
You can't, because even if you know the story in January, you don't know it in October. So you're 100% right in terms of that, right? So listen, the best way to talk about it is remote diagnostics in general, right? It's about shifting where service begins, right? So instead of starting in a kitchen with a flashlight and a guest and a guest and a couple of prompts, your service call can now start with data, okay? Because now this appliance can record fault events over time, and they can track performance trends, and they can identify abnormal behavior patterns, and they can log temperature curves in fridges. They can monitor motor loads and capture voltage irregular. Basically, anything you need it to do, it can actually capture. And then that information can be accessed before the technician steps foot in your house. There isn't a program out there for remote diagnostics that doesn't work in some way, shape, or form. Now, specific examples that I gave, maybe not, but you can just use those general terms and people are going to get the gist of it, right? So now service doesn't begin with, well, let's see what's going on here. And they grab their wrench and they start banging around, right? It really begins with, here's what the system is telling us. And that's really what's going to change everything from the experience standpoint, because it means it's the failed part can be identified in advance of that call, right? The correct technician with the right skill set can be properly dispatched out. Hey, we might need a senior advisor on this one rather than, a new technician, those types of things, right? Some issues can even be resolved remotely now as a result of these remote diagnostics. False service calls can be avoided entirely. A lot of these service institutions have in-house techs that can just diagnose it right over the phone and clear that off the books entirely. So it's going to shorten downtime. It's going to reduce repeat visits. It's going to eliminate all this blind diagnosis that's out there right now. And then most importantly for the customer, it's going to reduce that uncertainty that we're talking about, right? I mean, this conversation that I'm having with you right now has nothing to do with connectivity. Connectivity is just the conduit to get the information to somebody else. We're not talking about app controls and all this kind of stuff. We're talking about pre-diagnosis infrastructure. That's really what this is, right? I mean, it turns service from reactive to informed. This is really more of a structural change in ownership experience than it is anything else, and that's really the way that it should be relayed.
So I'm going to be the salesperson here. And so if I'm talking about remote diagnostics generally, I always want to find the line that I don't want to cross and overpromising. That I don't want to have it, explain everything that it should do. They get home,
Yep.
and now the expectation for the customer is that the tech is going to show up with the right part, and everything's going to be fixed in an instant. And what if that scenario doesn't happen? And now I've overpromised what remote diagnostics can do. Where do you draw the line in terms of what this can do?
Yeah. So again, like with us, when it comes to the podcast, our job is to fill up your tool belt with as many tools as we possibly can, right? And you decide what you're going to use. You're going to hear me say that a million times because you're right. If you go down every one of those things, like I did with every customer that comes in, you're in for a world of hurt, right? You're setting abnormal expectations in that case. But what you can say safely to any customer that comes in is that remote diagnostics is about shifting where service begins for you. And you could tell the story of and build that pain through the story of what it looks like without this. Now, you can tell the part that what it looks like without it without saying what it could possibly mean with it, right? And I think that's probably the line that you're shooting for there, is being able to simplify the whole thing and just say, hey, this really can change where service begins for you without having to go into every little detail. But my job is to fill your tool belt out. So if they said, well, can it manage temperature and does it record curves and all of that kind of stuff? Now you can confidently say, yes, in this particular case, it could. So, at least you have that background information. But you're right. You want to be careful with where that line is because you don't want to overstep it. But you also don't want to, say that it's a smart feature, right? And you don't want to talk about controlling apps remotely and get it positioned as convenience, because you're completely flattening what this is, right? It's not about starting your oven from the grocery store and get lumped in with all of that other kind of stuff. It's literally shortening the worst part of ownership for a consumer. So if you're framing it out as tech novelty and lumping it into that giant sack of Wi-Fi that's out there, then it's going to be meaningless and you're losing a clear advantage that an appliance could give you, which is funny because salespeople just are grasping all the time to try to grab some level of differentiation. And a lot of times it's staring them right in the face. They just never wanted to venture into that territory to go and get it, So hopefully this conversation can help clear some of that up.
I think for sure. Anything else on remote diagnostics?
No, I don't think so. And it's just, let's reinforce kind of what you were talking about. Like, we're not opening with failure here,
right?
Really. You want to build the product value first and all of that kind of stuff, just like you always do. Right? It's performance, it's fit, it's design, it's cooking results and all of that kind of stuff. But eventually that conversation, has to translate to ownership and what the ownership experience is. And that's when this needs to be introduced, right? And not as if something breaks, but really, this appliance doesn't just perform well. It actually has a recovery plan built into it that's different than some of the other ones you're looking at. Something like that, right? The language is always going to matter in the way that you're going to bring it in. And you know me, I hate scripting things because I want everybody to be themselves and introduce it the way that they're comfortable introducing it. But something like that is a real professional and mature way to bring that in. And customers are going to appreciate it. So you never really have to worry about bringing it up in the conversation as long as you're responsible for the way that you do introduce it.
We drop a new episode every day of the week, including weekends. Don't forget to rate and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.